She used to go out to the Peak District, the Longshaw estate in particular, with her mother and brother and sisters. Of course, they had a very nice car and a chauffeur, so they often were doing this. But she noticed that people would get off the bus at Fox House and they'd drop their tickets. And the tickets would blow around the Longshaw estate. And she really hated litter all her life. And she thought, well, perhaps the bus tickets are dropped because they don't have anywhere to put them. So she wrote to the Sheffield Bus Company and expressing her, distress about this. And she had tremendous powers of persuasion, really amazing. It was very difficult to say no to her about anything. And sure enough, she got them to agree to put the receptacles on the buses. And after that, all the Sheffield buses were fitted with a little receptacles as you get off the bus to drop the tickets in.
Ethel did a lot of persuading Graves to buy land to protect it. So, we got Graves Park, Blackamoor. I think Graves had some input into Burbage and certainly Longshaw. She actually lobbied Graves quite intensely, I think, and to an extent that he eventually said to her, please don't come up with any more petitions for buying land,
Great achievement, in my view, her greatest achievement was the purchase of the Longshaw estate. In 1929, the Duke of Rutland put his Longshaw estate up for sale. There were no conditions attached to it at all. Anything could have been put there because there was no planning legislation in those days. The sale documents suggested uses for the estate of golf courses, executive homes, hotels, and so on. So Ethel knew how precious Longshaw was to the citizens of Sheffield. She loved it herself, but she loved the fact that so easily get on the bus in town, go out to Longshaw. And this was a tremendous thing for the working people in Sheffield in those days. Usually they worked in poor circumstances, steelworks and file cutting shops and places where it was dank and dirty and unhealthy. And this was a wonderful place for them to be able to go out once a week to the countryside, and easy for them to do. You didn't have to have a car. You could easily get out there. And she felt very strongly about this. And she knew that the best thing she could do was to try to purchase it. This was a ducal estate. It was put up for sale for £27,000, which you probably think doesn't sound very much. But in 1927, this was a fortune. She was at the helm of a massive campaign in Sheffield at the time. She mobilised all the environmental societies on both sides of the Pennines. She raised enough money to be able to purchase it. The Sheffield City Council did give her a loan in order that it could be purchased before anybody else could get it, I think. But the main thing she wanted to do was to hand it to the National Trust. This was her motivation. She wanted it to go to the National Trust so that it was inviolate and nobody else could come along and want to develop it.